good.
Hey, this is Jason Cruz with another episode of the interview, MMApayout.com. Today, we are talking to Christopher Gonzales as he gets ready for his next fight, Bellator 290, Max Roshkopf, February 4th, the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California. First question, Chris, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm just actually driving down to Dublin, California. I train over here in Sacramento, so it's about an hour and a half. Just headed down to get some Muay Thai training in with Combat Sports Academy, Coach Kirian, and all those high-level ladies and gentlemen strikers over there. So just trying to go over there and get some of that action to rub off on me.
That's awesome. So it must be a really good place if you have to travel an hour to get there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a top-notch Muay Thai level training. Probably the highest level of Muay Thai that you could probably get in the United States, or anywhere for that matter of fact. So I started training with them a little bit over a year ago, and I've been going out there usually about 2 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less, just depending on what my schedule's calling for. But it's definitely a priority, and my striking's improved tremendously since I started going out there. So yeah, they're awesome.
Now let me ask you about this. You have a training partner in the car, I see. How old is your dog?
I'm sorry, you broke up there for a second. What'd you say, brother?
Oh, your dog. He wanted to get he wanted to get a cameo in there, so I gotta give him some shine. How old is he? She.
Yeah. So this is my boy Chevy right here.
Oh, look at that
he's
guy.
Kind of tucked over here. He wants me to roll down the window, but we're on the freeway, so it's a little hard right now. But he's actually 8. He's got a birthday coming up next month, about a week after my fight. So hopefully we can go get 2 checks so I can make his birthday extra special this year.
Awesome. That sounds great. That sounds great. So let me ask you a little bit about your training camp. How has it been?
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, after each fight and each training camp, you kind of reevaluate things, from the performance and how you did to how you felt during the weight cuts, after the weight cut, and things like that. But training's been great. It's been a lot of the same. Just getting to a point now where, it's just a lot of it's just improving technically, and then maintaining the strength and conditioning side of things. And then obviously injury prevention is huge, especially at this stage in my career. Staying healthy is probably at least half of the battle. But camp's been great so far. I'm looking forward to getting out there and showing you guys what I've been working on.
Now, I forgot to tell you at the outset, I was actually in attendance in Tacoma, Washington for your last fight in July. Obviously didn't go the way you wanted. Against the now champ, I guess it was Nurmagomedov. To be honest with you, it looked like you just and I'm sorry to tell you that it looked like you got caught a little bit in a front choke, and then the fight was over. Can you tell me a little bit about what your thoughts on was that?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it was. Still really early on into my career. I like to think, I've only been doing this MMA thing for a handful of years, and I'm fighting the best guys in the world. Usman wasn't the champ when I fought him. Obviously, he is now. He dominated his title fight with, Patricky, and he's champ now. But that's exactly what happened. We went out there. I felt great. I was confident. I felt strong. Kind of locked up in an over-under position. The first couple of minutes, it was just really a feeling out process, and then kind of exploded in. We ended up in an over-under position, which is exactly where I want to be. So I think I might have got a little overconfident while we were there. He had a nice little trip. Wasn't too worried. Came back up, had an underhook, and he was kind of in a front headlock position, and I was kind of backing out. And they always tell you in jiu-jitsu, never trust your neck, right? But so he didn't have the choke locked up. So instead of fighting the hands, I just pulled out because he didn't even have his hands locked at that point. And when I went to pull out, I guess I just wasn't aware that the cage was right behind me. when we got into that scramble, I wasn't cognizant of where I was in the cage, and so when I went to just pull back and I wasn't fighting the hands, I backed right up into the cage, which stopped my momentum for a second. And that allowed him to cinch that up. It was pretty much a no arm darce, and it was early on in the fight. There wasn't much sweat. I tried to spin out. The cage was behind me, so I couldn't go backwards. And he's got some really long blade-like arms, and he had it in fucking deep. So unfortunately, I got caught. But that's the name of the game. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. So since then, the biggest adjustment I'd say I took from that fight, obviously, there wasn't very much to take away from it, was just making sure that when I'm sparring, I'm just sparring in the cage more. Last camp, I didn't really do too much cage sparring, and that ended up being what ended up costing me the fight. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you do get a chance to run that back, obviously things will be much more different than that. But tell me about your fight with Max Roshkopf. He is a wrestler, I believe, as well. So I assume this is going to be a boxing match then.
Yeah, I mean, ideally that's usually how that plays out, right? Usually you get two high-level wrestlers, it kind of turns into a striking battle. So I mean, we'll see. I think a lot of it's I think he's definitely gonna come in. I don't think he wants to have a striking match with me by any means. I definitely think he's gonna come out there and he's gonna try to shoot, try to get it on the ground, try to create some scrambles. He's gonna be looking for some leg locks and things like that. That seems to be what guys coming out of his camp. That's kind of one of their areas of focus. So. But I'm ready. I'm ready to take the fight wherever it goes. I'm extremely confident in my grappling, extremely confident in my striking. So wherever the fight goes, we'll be ready.
That's great. That's good to hear. Now, will you be flying down, or are you going to drive down to Los Angeles?
Yeah, fuck no. I'm definitely flying. It's a quick flight, but it's about an 8-hour drive. So.
Yeah, okay, I got you. And I assume that since it's a LA, it's in Inglewood, you'll have a lot of friends and family coming down as well, or?
Yeah, I'll have a good amount. I'm not from California. I've been living here for about 5 years now.
Okay.
Since I started doing MMA, so I'll have a decent amount, a decent little crowd in there supporting me. I'm actually from Chicago. I was really trying to get on that Chicago card where
that's right.
Usman actually ended up winning the belt. I would have packed that place out, but that just didn't work out. So, but either way, we'll have all the important people who've been supporting me from day one. They'll be there. So that's what matters the most.
That sounds great. And then as far as fight week goes, are you a kind of guy that likes to hang out with your teammates, with your dog, or are you just going to be? Do you like the solitude of getting into the zone to the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I really just like to chill. I come from a little bit different background where in wrestling, when you're, fight week or competition week, whatever you want to call it, you're pretty much just on your own. You're doing your own thing. You're cutting your own weight. You might be with some teammates, but it's not like you have coaches who are kind of like catering to your wants and needs like you do as a fighter, because you're paying them to do that for you. But so me personally, man, I just like to chill. I'll hang out in my hotel room. I'll go on a couple walks, work out like once, maybe twice a day. And just it's just weight maintenance, energy conservation, and some game planning, and that's really it.
That's good to hear. Well, Chris, thank you so much for your time. Big card for Bellator. They're actually going to be on CBS. Bellator 290 at the Fabulous Forum, Inglewood, California. Chris, you got a big fight. What do you want to do for 2023? What are your hopes and goals for 2023? How many fights do you think you could fit in this year?
Yeah, I mean, so I wanna be active. I have in my most recent contract negotiation, I negotiated where I got to be offered at least 3 fights a year.
Good.
So ideally, I'd be getting at least those 3 fights in. Health permitting. But I see myself going in there, handling business with this fight, maybe handling business with one more fight, and then I should be right back into that title picture. Obviously, they just came out with the lightweight Grand Prix. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little upset that I wasn't, picked to be a part of that tournament. Not that any of those, not that the guys that they selected don't belong. I think all those guys that they chose to be in the tournament, also deserve to be in there. I just definitely think that I'm right there and I deserve to be in the mix too. My only two losses are to, the now current world champion, and then to Goiti Yamauchi, who's on his way to a welterweight world championship himself. So, I mean, I'm right there with all these guys. I hit up, Mike Hogan and some of the matchmakers over at Bellator, and I let them know, I wanted to put my name in the hat, for being an alternate. You can't control injuries and things of that nature. So I'll make sure I'm ready if the opportunity presents itself. But 2023, 3 fights, 3 victories, and then hopefully setting myself up for a title shot or a fill-in slot for that Grand Prix.
Gotcha. Your dog looks like he is ready for me to say goodbye. So, Chris Gonzales, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great drive the rest of the way, and we'll be watching February 4th.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, take it easy. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.